Good morning, everyone. My name is Carl Griffith, and I'm the Director of Emerging Technology with Graybar, and I would like to welcome all of you to this day's Graybar G2 Talk presentation, the title of which is Advantages of Cloud-Based Testing in the Datacom World. This talk is part of our webinar series we offer each month to our customers, known as G2 Talk. We have a great discussion lined up for you today, but before we get started, I would like to cover a few housekeeping items. First of all, if you were one of the first 50 people who joined in on this presentation, you're going to receive a free cup of coffee courtesy of Graybar. So check your email later today. This gift is a thank you for the time that you're giving us today. Also, at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a box labeled Q&A. Please feel free to submit questions throughout the presentation, and we will address as many questions as we have time for at the end. So please type your questions in there as we go through the presentations, and we'll get to them if we can. Lastly, our G2 Talks are archived, so you can go back and review this presentation again, or you can recommend it to others or send a link to them. And you can get to that archive very easily by going to graybar.com and look for the G2 Talk logo, and there'll be an archive button, and you can get to the archive that way. We're happy today to team up with Fluke Networks. Graybar is a full-service distributor for Fluke Networks, and Fluke provides the solutions from network deployment to network performance management to network troubleshooting, and also security and performance monitoring. And you can visit graybar.com to learn more about these solutions. So at this time, I'm very happy to introduce today's speaker. Today we have Harshad Karche. He's the Senior Manager for Fluke Networks Services. In this position, he uses his 14 years of experience in product management and product development to create and commercialize new services for the networking and cable installation professional. So without any further delay, I'd like to hand things over to Harshad to begin today's presentation. Thank you, Harshad.
Thank you, Carl. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to thank Graybar for giving me the opportunity and come to talk to all of you today. So we have a very interesting topic today about cloud-based testing in the Datacom world. Now, all of us have heard about cloud technologies and how it's affecting different areas of our personal life. I mean, almost all of us use storage in the cloud for photos. We use a lot of applications that are hosted in the cloud. And so how does that translate to us in our daily job in the Datacom world? Because, I mean, while the technology is cool, it's only useful if it's helping us solve any problems that we face today and actually do new things that we couldn't before. So that's what we focused on. So at Fluke Networks, we went back to our contractors and our customers and asked them that, hey, what are the typical problems that you face today when you're on a certification jobs? And we asked them how many hours per month approximately do you spend on each of those problems, solving each one of those problems. So what you see on the slide right now is the top 10 problems that they reported. It's about wrong couple limits, cable IDs, consolidating different results, setting up the tester, and a few other problems that they face. So if you look at these problems today, you can actually categorize them into two broad categories, right? One is about managing your test results, and the second one is about actually managing the tester itself and how you set up the tester. So we took those two categories and we said, okay, fine, what are the problems the customers face while managing test results, right? And we realized there are a lot of problems. While it seems like a simple task from the outside, when you're actually working the project, there are lots of issues that you face. And the typical time-consuming tasks that people spend time in were editing cable IDs, right? You wouldn't think about it, but we had a customer who had a job, a 3,000-link job that he finished testing and realized that he had to redo all the cable IDs. It took him days to make sure that all his cable IDs met all the IDs that were there in the spec. It was time that, could be avoided if they had done the setup correctly, or if they knew during the project that they were using the wrong cable IDs, right? Similarly, They spend a lot of time in combining different test types in a single report, reworking incomplete reports, or even actually just getting the results from the tester. You won't believe I have actually seen a contractor who used a bicycle messenger in London to send his head office so they could get the results out of it. It's strange what people spend time in getting the test results back from the field. But that was a big problem. And testers people had, the more complicated it gets. Because all of us on our larger jobs, we use more than one tester at different locations for that job. And then these test results are stored locally in each tester, and it becomes quite an ardent task to get all of these test results together and make sure they're all combined and make sure that we have all of them. And also make sure that we didn't miss any test results, because nobody wants to do another truck roll all the way back to the test site to do more testing. That's just wasted money and time. Right? And also another issue that we saw was that a lot of the project managers really couldn't keep a tight tab on how the certification job was progressing. So usually we had project managers or lead foremen who would call up the site and ask them about, hey, how are things going? Did you face any problems today? But that was it. They really could not get that instant feedback from the field about the test results and actually view the test results. So a lot of our project managers sort of told us that it would be great if they could get more visibility and actually track how the job was progressing on site. And then there was a worst case scenario about test results management, is then what if I lose my tester, right? My test results are gone. The tester is expensive, but I also spend a lot of money for those test results. And also what we have seen is corrupted SD cards. Now, we have a tax center here in Everett, Washington, right near Seattle, and I can't tell you how many calls we receive every day about my card is corrupted, I can't get the test results out of it, and we ask our customers to send us their card, and we do our best effort to recover these cards. I mean, we've even seen SD cards that were probably shared with his daughter, because we saw a lot of family photos on that SD card and test results on the same SD card. It's strange, but things do happen like that. And it's very, very expensive to, lose a week's or even a day's of work just because of a faulty SD card on SD card that you lost, right? So those were all the typical problems that people face with test results management. And so how can the cloud help us in that, right? So very, very simple thing is that while a person is testing, he can actually, while he's testing, put up all these test results from his tester, just upload them to the cloud, and a project manager can actually go in there, like log in from his cell phone, from his computer, whatever, any device that he has, and actually look at these test results right then and there from that device as the job is progressing. And then when it's time to actually generate certification reports, that is when it's time to get paid, it's really easy to just go to your report generation software and just download all of the test results right from the cloud. It's really simple. So that entire task of actually transporting all these test results and getting test results from the tester into the reporting software just becomes really easy. And also, now it's really easy to keep track of them right from any browser-enabled device. Right? So the cloud really enables all of that. And the next question, usually people ask that, okay, fine, but how does the tester put all the test results in the cloud? Well, luckily for us today, connectivity is really, really advanced and really, really easy to do. So you could use Wi-Fi on site. A lot of our customers also use hotspots from their phones or jetpacks, the LTE jetpacks, and you can connect to any of that and just upload test results. We even have people who maybe at the end of the day, go back to a nearby coffee shop and just use the free Wi-Fi there to upload it. And so again, going back to how the cloud solution help us save time in test results management is number one, right? You can track certification jobs in real time, right? You get a simple dashboard. You can see how many test results you have left to certify and what progress has been made on site today. most important of all, while the testing is happening, you can actually see what test limits were used for each one of those test results. Because as we saw from a survey, that was the number one cause of wasted time. Can't tell you how many times I have seen this issue reported to us from a customer, hey, we finished so many links and we used the wrong limit. Do I have to go back and recertify? Is there any other way to do this? Right? It happens all the time. People hate to admit it, but it does happen. Second most thing is ensure that you're having the right cable IDs. You can just check all of that right from your phone. While the project is happening, you don't have to wait for the end of the week to look at all the test results after all the testing is done. You can look at it while the testing has been done. So, that was the number two cause of wasted time, and even that is really easy to check up right now. And then, most of all, you can validate the test results in real time. You know what passed, what failed, and if you see something failed, you now have the capability to instantly troubleshoot. You can just call up and say, hey, what happened? Why did it fail? You can get instant feedback. You can actually dig into the result from your phone and actually see what parameters caused the test result to fail. Right? So it really minimizes a lot of back and forth because now you really have a lot of control on the progress of your job. And also, it's really easy to consolidate all these multiple test results. So if you're using multiple testers for the same job, right, then it's really easy that just on a click of a button, everything automatically consolidates in the cloud, and you don't have to spend any time doing that. So also typically how we have seen a lot of our contractors use their tester is that the same tester goes from site to site to site, and sometimes the results from different projects can get mixed up. But now using this, all the test results are categorized correctly, and you can completely avoid the scenario of wrong test results getting into the wrong project. So this helps save a lot of time. Right? And of course, right, even if your tester is stolen, which we really hope doesn't happen, your test results are still there. Right? It's all in the cloud. You can always access it. You can always download it. So that's how this cloud solution helps us save time in the cloud. So we spoke about tracking your project progress. We spoke about identifying any failed test results or wrong cable IDs, wrong test limits. So we can do all of that really easily. And we've seen a lot of people use it, and of various sizes and various types of contractors too. So let me give you a few examples. So after people started using the cloud, we had one large customer who mandated all of his contractors use the cloud service for their test results. And what happened was that now they would get instant feedback, and instantly they could see how all their jobs were progressing, and it was really easy for them to get all their test results back. So that simplified in general, their job much, much, much more. Right? Another scenario is this was a customer who was actually building out a data center, right? So it's one location. So you would think, why would they need to do all of this remotely? But when he has around 250,000 links that he needed to test, and these are fiber links, right? So now with this test results management, he could actually see all of it in the cloud, and in the cloud, he could also invite his general contractor quality guys in there. He could invite the company that they got the contract from, the person from there, the consultant who was consulting on that project into the cloud, and he could also get the cabling manufacturer into the cloud. So now all these people, in real time, they have access to those results. So just in case, if something is going on, they can catch it really fast. And that helps save a lot of time because you're now collaborating in real time with multiple people that you typically used to do before at the end of the job, and now you have them early on in the job so you don't waste any time and basically get paid faster, right? So that was all about test results management. So then we said that, okay, so what was the next biggest problem that our contractors faced? And that was test setup delays. So now now, while doing a certification test setup, there are a lot of different limits and certifications that you have to keep in mind. And very often, the end technician who's actually doing the testing may not be knowledgeable enough to set up the tester correctly. So usually it requires a lead tech or a project manager to set up this tester and then send it out to field. And basically that means you have to get the tester back to the office, or the project manager or test lead has to go on site to even update the tester or set up the tester, right? That's a lot of waste of time, and not only for the project manager, but also we want to keep the tester in the field. Now, all of you have paid almost as much as you pay for a truck for that certification tester, right? We want to keep it in the field and keep it working for you. So we said, how can we solve this problem? And that's, again, when the cloud technology really helped us. So what if you could set up the tester from your internet browser? You don't need to have the tester with you in the office. You don't need to travel to the tester. You've got internet connection, you've got a phone, you've got a tablet. You can just set up, do the entire test setup right there from the browser, right? It just helps save so much time, where you can actually set up all your test limits, create test setups for copper, fiber, and when you create test setups, you can also create custom limits, because a lot of the fiber jobs out there today are custom limit jobs. Like when we polled our customers, almost 45% of their fiber testing was custom fiber. They needed custom limits. So you can do all of that right from your browser. You can create cable IDs right there from the browser, right? Basically set up the tester right there in the browser in front of you. And it's really easy. There are various methods you can use to create cable IDs, but you can create test setups, create cable IDs, and then even distribute them to the different testers in the field. So you could be in the office now, and then with the back-end cloud technology that we have, you can now just create all the test setups in the cloud and just push it down to separate testers. Or the technician in the field, you can just go in his tester, log in, and just get the project that's been assigned to him. So this makes things really easy, because now you know that the correct settings are in the tester, right? And then you can, if you have to do an update or you want to change something because something's in the specification or requirements changed, you can just do it on the fly right there and get the tester updated too. It saves at least a day's of work over there. And next question you would ask is, well, okay, so I set up this tester and pushed it down to my tester, but what if somebody changes something on the field? How do I know that happened? And that's what the cloud does for you, because now when the test results come up to the cloud actually runs through all of these test results and tells you that, hey, this test result is not per your spec. For example, say you were testing Cat 6a, something happened, it failed. Somebody thought that, hey, I really need to get this to pass, so let me change the limit to Cat 5, and maybe it would pass, and behold, it passes. Now the cloud can analyze that in real time and give you a notification that, hey, you got a test result that is not Cat 6a, it's something else. What do you want me to do with that test result? Right? And then you can make a decision based on that. So you can actually easily get notification when your test setup is changed in the field. And also, your cable ID, if somebody adds new cable IDs or changes a cable ID, you get a cable ID that's not in your test setup, you get notified immediately. So this saves a lot of time. And of course, right, then you can customize your dashboard in the cloud the way you want it, because each person's business is different. So now you can track your business more efficiently, much more easily. So that's how we can utilize the cloud to actually control the test setup and configuration of your tester and make sure that testing is done right the first time. And we have actually seen a lot of our customers do this because they saw a lot of savings in not only creating it online, but again, sharing it with their end customer to make sure the end customer is satisfied that everything is going as per spec. It really does help a lot. So that's the end of my presentation. The cloud is being leveraged more and more to solve a lot of different problems, but today I just wanted to focus on two topics, and that was test result management and test setup, right? And so now I'll just turn it over back to Carl for some Q&A.
Thank you, Arshad. That was an excellent presentation, and at this time we'd like to address some of the questions that have been submitted. For those that have a question, all you got to do is hit that Q&A box on the bottom of your screen. A dialog box will open. You can type your question, and we'll get to as many of them as we can. I have a couple questions that have come in that I would like to go over with you, Arshad. The first one is customizing reports. We went into the setup, et cetera, but the actual report that goes to the end customer, if they want a printed copy of that, can that all be customized with the contractor or integrator's logo, et cetera, so it looks like it's just rather than just having Fluke's logo on it, it would have the customer's logo on it?
Yeah, so that definitely, I would take that as an enhancement request to my R&D team. That's not a capability that we have today, because today we are still using our Linkware PC. That's our reporting engine. It's sort of industry standard. A lot of people use that. But I will go back to our engineering team and see if there's a quick way they can actually provide that functionality. And if there's something already existing today, a backdoor way to do that, I'll let you know. So please feel free to send me an email about that. Carl, if you could send me the customer's name, I could get back with him and help him solve that.
And just my own personal comment about this is we know we have lots of contractors that do projects around the country, and sometimes there's some remote project management going on there, and this would be a really nice way to see the progress on a particular job by just viewing the results in the cloud. So this is a great thing. We got a couple more questions here that come in. The question is where can you get the software? I'm assuming it's available from Graybar?
Yeah, so basically this is online. So all you need is the DSX tester, and once you have the tester with you, the versatile line of testers, you don't have to do anything. You just go online to linkwarelive.com and it's available.
Okay, and how much does it cost?
It actually doesn't cost anything. The cloud service is free to use for now and probably through the end of next year. So the way it is that managing test results will always be free, right? And then probably end of next year, we might start charging a small fee for actually doing remote test setup. But even that is up for debate right now. But right now, all of this functionality is available on the web, and it is free to use. All you need is to have a tester.
And what is the URL? Where do we go to get download Linkware?
To just start using it. So this is a web-based app. So all you need is any device that has a browser, and just go to linkwarelive.com, and then just start using it from there. You can sign up and start using it. Great.
And what about people that have older test equipment, maybe something like a DTX? Will Linkware Live work with a DTX, or will we have to upgrade the new equipment?
No, unfortunately, the DTX was made in 2004, and that time the technology really didn't exist for us to have these cloud capabilities put on there. So today the DTX does not support Linkware Live. It's the Wrapup line of testers that have replaced the DTX. I think the Wrapups have been out for around 2 years now. So Linkware Live works with all the Wrapup testers, copper and fiber.
Okay. So if a person has a DS as in Sam X, will it work with that?
Yes, absolutely.
So those folks with DSX testers, they're in good shape and they're Linkware Live ready right now.
Yes, they are ready. They're absolutely ready. All they might have to do is to get a little wireless thumb dongle that they could just put into their USB port on their DSX and just start using it. I think the dongle costs like $7 or $8 on Amazon. That's all they need to do.
Okay, now I know that those wireless dongles are available from Amazon, or you can get them up on eBay, things like that. Is there a wireless dongle that has a Fluke number on it that's available from distribution?
No, currently we don't have an accessory as a USB dongle today because people kind of tended to use and buy it themselves from different places.
Another question someone asked about using a DS as in Sam, P as in Peter, DSP 4100. Is that Linkware enabled?
Oh no, so the DSPs was sold even prior to the DTX, and I think we made them, they were obsolete in 2006, so no, it really does not support Linkware Live today.
Okay, so the DSP 4100 is end of life, and Linkware is not supported.
End of life.
Okay. And another question came in from Richard, and he's asking, how often does infolink, how often does the information link to the cloud? Is it instantaneously, or is it some kind of like every minute, every two? And can we upload in each test, or do you upload it in groups of tests?
Yes, so typically when we are doing our testing, we turn off the sync because it interferes with our test results, measurements. So what people usually do is that they take a bunch of measurements and then you can just sync anytime you want. There's just a button, you just say sync. So typically we have seen a lot of our contractors do it. If it's a large job, they either do it 2 times a day, once during lunch and once at the end of the day. And other people where jobs are smaller and they can just finish their job in like 2 hours and just say hit sync. So you can do it in batches. There's no problem at all.
Right, and if you want to, say for example, as we're walking from room 1 to room 2, we could sync while we're making that little travel from one test site to the next test site.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just that we just turn off the Wi-Fi capabilities when we are actually doing the testing because it interferes with our results. But if you're not testing, you can just use that time to sync.
Right. Now, Rick is indicating here, what if there isn't Wi-Fi where you are testing? So one choice would be to use a cellular data connection if you happen to have that, and then use the hotspot on your phone. That's one solution. Is that not correct?
That is correct. So what we have seen happen is that, so we have primarily 2 methods. One is either an RJ45, which is rarely available on the site. And some people have, like the contractors do provide a Wi-Fi if they are being subcontracted. If that is not available at the site, then a lot of them are carrying jetpacks, LTE connections that they just use on site, and that they use as a hotspot, and just connect to it and just use that to transmit. Or they can go back to the hotel. Actually, some of them also do this. They go back to the hotel or go by to, while they're having coffee at a coffee shop, just use the internet connection there.
That's right. So that would be uploading in batch. So when you take a break or you're going to lunch and you're at Panera Bread or Starbucks or whatever, then you can just upload the results at those. Yes. All right. Let's see if we have any other questions here. I think we've answered Rick's question. We've got to Richard. We've responded to Brian's question. Peter now knows that he can go online and just get the software right now. And Tommy, good morning. Glad to see you online. Tommy is from Emory, and I wanted to say thank you and good morning to him too. If there's some more questions, if you'll please just go ahead and hit the Q&A button. We'll give you a second here while I close up, and we may respond to the next question as it comes in. But anyway, we'll get to wrapping things up here. So we're at the end point. I just wanted to remind everybody that if you're one of the first 50 people who was on the webinar today, to check your email later today, and you might find a coupon there good for a cup of coffee at a major coffee chain. The presentation that you saw today will be archived, and it'll be available on Graybar.com. So if you go to Graybar.com, look for the G2 Talk webinar logo, you'll see a little archive button there. If you'll hit that, you'll be able to get to the archive, and you'll be able to review this presentation again. Joan, do we have a PDF of the presentation? So if you would like a hard copy of the presentation, there's a PDF that you can download as well of the presentation and take a look at it that way. You can also share the link with your friends or colleagues so they can take a look at this. Or if you may want to take this information and give it to the boss, so we want to upgrade that DTX to a DSX, Graybar would be glad to help you with that. If you need any assistance, or I want to let you know that you can contact your Graybar sales representative, just give us a call. If you don't know who your Graybar sales representative is you can always call 1-800-GRAYBAR, and we'll get you in touch with a sales representative that can help you get the software if you need instructions on how to do that or upgrade equipment. I don't see any other questions in here, Harshad, so I want to thank you for your time that you spent with us today. It was absolutely a wonderful presentation. Great information, good time savings here. We know how much those labor hours are worth and how many dollars are worth, and this is a great time saver, and it's also a great safety measure. It's always a bad thing to lose results, and by having a cloud-based application here, we can save those results, and we can archive them ourselves and use them later, et cetera, as you described. So thank you very much for your presentation today. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you next month for another G2 Talk webinar. Have a great day.
Thank you.